It was 1870 year, and America still had blank spaces. Railroads cut through wilderness like scars, but beyond them lay a continent no one truly understood. Vast forests, boiling rivers, mountains without names, lands mapped only by rumor and fear. Among those unknown lands was a place the trappers whispered about, a valley where the earth burned, where water exploded from the ground, where animals vanished. They called it Yellowstone. The U.S. government wanted to know what it was, so they sent a small expedition, soldiers, scouts, and scientists, and one civilian, Truman C. Everts. He was not a hunter, not a soldier, not a mountain man. He was a 41-year-old lawyer and surveyor, thin, curious, and stubborn. Before leaving, he wrote,
"I am not a frontiersman, yet something in me longs to see what lies beyond what we already know."
He did not know he was about to disappear. The Washburn Langford Doane Expedition rode into Yellowstone in August 1870. Dozens of horses, supplies for weeks, and men who believed no wilderness could defeat them. They crossed steaming valleys where sulfur burned their lungs. They passed boiling springs that could cook flesh in seconds. Everts was fascinated, but uneasy. He wrote in his notebook,
"This land feels alive, not in a welcoming way. It watches us."
On September 9th, the group stopped to explore a high plateau. Everts, riding a nervous horse, lagged behind. Then suddenly, the horse bolted. Truman was thrown to the ground. By the time he stood up, the expedition was gone. No gun, no knife, no food, no matches. Only his clothes and 2,000 square miles of wilderness. At first, he conserved his strength. He stayed near where he fell, expecting rescue.
"They'll come back. They don't left me here alone."
Each morning, he climbed hills and scanned the horizon. Nothing. He drank from streams. He found wild berries and chewed on roots. At night, he curled up inside his coat, digging shallow pits in the earth to block the wind. "I slept lightly, like prey," he later wrote. After 5 days, he accepted a terrible truth. No one was coming. So he began to walk. Everts followed rivers, believing they would lead to people. They led him deeper into Yellowstone. Everts later wrote,
"I was no longer walking through nature. I was walking through something that wanted me gone."
He ate whatever he could find. Thistle roots, wild onions, moss scraped from rocks. A small bird he caught with his hands. Once he managed to trap a fish in a shallow stream. It was the only real meal he had in weeks. His boots fell apart within days. His feet became raw and bleeding. He wrapped them in pieces of cloth torn from his shirt. Still, he walked.
Each step felt like walking on broken glass, yet stopping felt worse.
One morning, he woke to find wolves standing 10 feet away, watching him. Not snarling, not charging, waiting. Their breath drifted white in the cold air. Their eyes never left him. Truman did not move. He slowly reached down and picked up a burning branch from his small fire. The wolves took a step back, then another. They were not afraid of him. They were afraid of fire. After several long seconds, the pack turned and slipped silently into the trees, as if they had never been there. Everts sat shaking for a long time.
Even the predators knew I was already half dead.
He entered the geyser basins. The ground steamed. The air smelled of sulfur. Pools bubbled like cauldrons. One night, freezing and weak, Everts did the unthinkable. He knelt beside a burning thermal spring. The water was near boiling, but he lowered his hands into it. The pain was unimaginable, but it saved his life. Using that scalding water, he killed lice and infection that were eating his skin. The earth burned me clean. He began sleeping near warm vents so he would not freeze at night. His clothes disintegrated. His beard grew wild. His body shrank to bones. Starving men did not think normally. Everts was no longer sane. He heard voices in the wind. He began speaking to people who weren't there. He held conversations with his wife, with his mother, with God. Sometimes he laughed, sometimes he cried. Once he chased a bird, convinced it was a sign from heaven. He fell into a ravine and could not stand for hours. "I no longer fear death," he wrote. "I only feared stopping." Back at camp, the expedition realized Everts was truly missing. Many believed he was dead, but Lieutenant Gustavus Doane refused to give up. Doane organized search parties. They rode through snow, through storms, through dangerous rivers. They found torn fabric, blood, broken footprints. Each sign meant he was still alive. And so, they kept going. On the 37th day, Everts collapsed beside the Yellowstone River. He could not stand. That was when Doane's men found him. They thought he was dead. Then he moved. One rescuer said,
"He looked like a spirit that had forgotten how to die."
Truman C. Everts survived. He later wrote the first detailed account of Yellowstone's interior, helping convince the U.S. government to make it the world's first national park. His suffering helped protect that land forever, and his journal ended with one final sentence.
"I went into the wild as a man. I came out as a witness."